Hi everyone, Dunrovin Ranch in Lola, Montana on a lovely spring afternoon. Lovely spring afternoon. I think this might be our first 70s. You think it might get into the 70s today? Yeah, this is terrific. I am here with Megan and with Paula, and our erstwhile ranch goddess will be joining us just shortly here. And the purpose for our gathering today is I'm going to help Kelly get ready to go and clear our trails, which necessitates taking a chainsaw, a couple of chainsaws, and some gas up into the forest. After each winter, a lot of trees come down, and these are not trees that you can do with your handsaw necessarily, or at least often there are major trees you have to cut out. So in order to do that, we have to take chainsaws, and in order to do that, we have to have a pack animal. And this is our wonderful pack animal. Everybody knows him. This is Mr. Monty Man. His given name is Montana Strolling Joe, and it fits him. He is a strolling kind of guy. He's a cool dude, a surfer dude. I call him the hang loose. You know, he's like a golden retriever of the horse world who everyone knows what a golden retriever is. They come, oh, you're going to bring him some water.
I call him Montague.
Montague, yeah.
Everyone has a name.
He's a gentleman. And the reason I chose him for a pack animal was his personality. He's a go along, get along sort of a guy, but he's also a leader among the other horses. All the other horses like him. He's not dominant in the sense that he sends everybody back with his ears back. They just all like him and want to be near him and do give to him often, but he's not one who will put up a fight if they don't want to. He says, oh, that's fine. He's just cool with the whole deal. So he's been used in the past as a pack animal, and the only thing about Monty that makes him less than ideal is his height. And you know, when you're packing things and you have to lift them up, you have to lift them up over his back so that you can put them back down onto the pack saddle. And I was talking a little bit earlier about how I had taken him to a packing class with a guy named Smoke Elser. You should look him up on the web, everybody. Smoke Elser. He's an
legend.
Elser, E-L-S-E-R.
Legend.
He's a legend. He's a legend. That's the right word for him. Exactly right. He's the guy who literally wrote the book, and I do mean the book. He wrote it on packing, and he also trains the military to pack animals. For example, when they were taking supplies during the Afghan war, he trained all the guys to do that. And he's got some incredible adventures. We'll have to get him out here sometime for an interview. He is got stories that you know would put hair on your chest. I mean, some of his stories, they are way out there. But the one I wanted to tell you about packing was he once had to pack a piano in about 100 miles into the Bob Marshall Wilderness area because the ranger who was going to occupy the Danaher Ranger Station, which is way into the Bob Marshall, his wife would not accompany with him unless she had a piano. And so the Forest Service said, that is a good enough reason, don't you think? That they would pack in a piano.
They were all married, weren't they?
That's right. So the first thing that Smoke asked his crew to do was to take everything off the piano that was removable. This is an upright piano. Nice, Monty.
I think he's finished.
I think he is. And Smoke tells the story. He walks out and there are about 5 pieces off the piano, and that's it. And it's a very big upright piano. So he gets himself a draft horse. I mean, this is a heavy piece of equipment, and it needs a really big horse to be able to carry this. And he creates this tripod system and teaches the horse to walk under this tripod system so that they can give the horse or take the weight off of his back about every 40 minutes because I mean, this was quite the ordeal. So he taught the horse to get under this tripod system, had a pulley system, and they would walk the horse for about 40 minutes into the Bob Marshes. It had to have taken a long time, and I can see we're getting interrupted here. But they they got it there. And I have to report that the piano's still there. Nobody brought it out. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Anyway, um, we're going to be trail clearing, Kelly and two people with chainsaws. One of them is Chase. You've seen Chase around here. He's the guy who did the roping demonstration all that long ago. He's going to be one of them, and then one of his friends. And they're going to go up and chainsaw our trail to make sure that we can pass through. And in order to do that, we have to take a couple chainsaws and gas, and that means we need a pack animal. So in order to do that, we have to put on a pack saddle on our dear Monty. Okay. So pack saddles come in two basic varieties. I'm going to start by showing you the Divas pack saddle because it's nice and light. The Divas wear pack saddles. And I know some of you who have been here a long time with us have seen the Divas in their pack saddles because on occasion we use them to carry Halloween candy during our Halloween costume parties. They go around and distribute
and that will be Meg's job in the future.
Yeah. They look quite fetching in their pack saddles. But I wanted to maybe Jake can hone in on this just a little bit while I hold it, if you wouldn't mind, Jake. I'll try to hold it very steady. And this is a really old style pack saddle. It's called a sawbuck saddle, pack saddle. And it's because this is kind of a sawbuck arrangement. And this is ancient technology where you basically put two pieces of wood together, strapped them together. Pardon?
Show the front.
The front, yeah. Thank you. Good idea. And then you hang the packages off of these two end pieces. And the wood pieces that you see here are what's called the tree. And all of the saddles that you see us riding in also have trees. There's a piece of wood, and the idea is that the piece of wood rests on the muscles that are on both sides of the horse's spine. So in this case, the donkey's spine would be right here, and the pieces of wood would keep the weight of the saddle off of the horse or the donkey's spine. That's the whole purpose of a tree, a saddle tree. So a pack saddle has some different what we call rigging, and a rigging is like on a sailboat. It's what you do to put things together. And on a pack saddle, instead of having just a breast collar, which we do have a breast collar that goes in through here, we have what's called a breechin. And the breechin is what comes on their rear end.
Or an ass.
An ass, or if it's a diva. That's right. That's right. So and the idea of the breechin is to keep the weight from moving forward on the horse. When a horse is carrying live weight, like a rider, if you're a good rider, you can adjust your weight according to the terrain, and it really helps the horse's back. But when you're carrying dead weight, there's no way that the load can be adjusted to account for the terrain. So it's important to get all of the pack saddle on correctly so that the horse is able to move, and yet the load does not continually move as well. So this breechin goes behind them. All right, so this is a sawbuck saddle, the cross pieces of wood on the front and the back of the saddle. And I'm going to have you pick the other saddle up.
And I know you're wanting to see me put this on a diva, and I'll give you my checking account rounding number. When the amount reaches enough, I will saddle a diva for you.
They don't mind.
I know they don't mind.
They don't mind at all. Okay.
We need this?
No. I don't know what that is for. Okay.
The breechin?
Yeah, let's trade sides here. You can say you're on the right side here. There we go. Okay. So now this is a different kind of saddle. This is a more modern pack saddle, and it is called a decker after the name of the guy who made the saddle. And instead of having these cross pieces of wood, it has. We can just take this part right off and show them the wood underneath.
I think we can do this.
Yeah. All right. There we go. Take it off. It has the same kind of a feature, a tree that goes on the horse's muscles over their spine. And this particular tree was built specifically for this horse. Monty had a very difficult back to fit for a saddle. So both his riding saddle and his pack saddle were made for him. And you'll see the front of it here has a little bit of a flare. You see how it kind of flares out? And that's so that you can see how his back sort of flares out if you look at it.
Is that the shoulders of a walker?
Yes, the shoulders of a walker. And I wanted to make sure he could move freely in this saddle. Okay, so let's get a regular blanket and we'll put it on, and we'll start putting on the saddle.
Okay. Now, when we take guests out for rides, Suzanne, we saddle the horses first, and we leave the cinch a little loose for comfort.
Right.
Do we do the same with the pack saddle?
You do until they start to move.
Right.
And you never load a packed horse in a trailer. You load the horse saddled up, but you never have a pack on the horse.
Right.
So when you get and that includes saddlebags, by the way.
Yes.
You never take a horse in a trailer with saddlebags of any kind. Horn bags, they can do it, but not saddlebags.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So if you want to go over there, and this is the back part clearly. This is going to go on his rump, and this is going to go behind him. Okay. So let's just here. Let me show you how to put it all together. To put it on, you kind of drape things over.
Okay.
This is so it's a one-person operation.
Right.
Drape this over, and then there should be a breast collar you have to drape over too. Yeah.
And that's to keep it from sliding back.
Yeah, keep it from sliding back. But you want all this stuff free, so you can just set the saddle up on top of him. There you go. And you would fit. And I'm wondering if we should undo the horse and have Meg hold him. Okay, we can do that. Can we do that? Just because
Position him the way we want.
right. The left side of a horse is called the near side, and all tack is meant to be put on the near side. That's why we're not putting it on that other side, which is called the off side. So let's move him over here so that he's Broadway to us. Okay, there we go. So the first thing that you want to do is put the cinch on. It's very much like a regular saddle. Cinch first on, last off.
Let me ask you about the placement. Should this be a little further up, or is it about right?
I would go further up there. Yeah, it's
gonna pick up the whole thing.
Yeah, and then pick it up and then slide it back. It should just graze his shoulder. There we go.
Yeah, the tree is nice. It's curved up so his shoulder can move freely underneath.
Yeah.
You don't want anything to pinch right here.
Yeah, you don't want anything to pinch, but you also, it's very important that the horse, the center of weight is right here on his shoulder, not on his back. So the saddles and pack saddles should be carrying the weight up here on their shoulders. Just like you carry a backpack, you want the weight on your shoulder, not on your back. It's going to bow your back. Same thing here. So let's get the
cinch first
on, and the cinch is over there. We'll start with the cinch. And this is just like a regular cinch. I think I don't know if he was the last one to use it. How centered is the ring? Do we have a ring on this cinch? There should be.
Maggie used him last year to clear trail with it. It's centered.
Okay. All right. There
There's no
The ring is not so important because it doesn't go through but I just want to say it's centered. All right. Well, then we use this piece of leather right here. It's called a latigo, and basically it's just an old-fashioned latigo. So you're gonna tighten it up here. I would change the cinch out with one with a buckle.
Okay.
I don't know quite why this cinch is on there. All right. Buckles are easier to adjust than one without. Put them in the trigger, make it less tight. Okay. All right.
We would use both. Is there a reason for the second ring, or we would use both rings?
Either way, it doesn't matter. Okay. So then the next thing, once a saddle's cinched, it's not going to go anywhere, and that's why it's the first thing on and the last thing off. You don't want to be fiddling around with all of these other parts and have the saddle fall while you're doing that. So that's why, whether it's a saddle for riding or a pack saddle. Okay, so let's do the back part first. And you just fold this back. This should be coming here. And then this comes. All right. It looks a little tight for him, so we have to undo it. You see where the over here, we're gonna undo this a little bit so that it has to go under his tail.
Right.
All right, and then we'll have to cinch it back up. Okay. We just pull the tail through. And it should come down just a little bit further too. Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to loosen this one up here.
Loosen it one?
I'm going to loosen it just one. You may have to do this for me. I lost a lot of strength here. These are special, yeah. You want to try? These are special buckles called. These
not Blevin.
Are
they Blevin?
Oh, so we're going all the way back to this one?
We're going to go back to back one.
Let's go back then.
No, that's going forward. Go back.
Well, no, I'm trying to do this.
Yeah, it's stiff. We should probably grease this up too. Can we get it?
Other way. Oh no.
No, she's doing it right now. She's got it right. But it has to stay on the end part too. See how it's in the end? Now you've lost it on the end part.
No, but there isn't another hole.
No, you keep it on the same hole.
Oh.
Just the top.
Oh, I see.
Just the top moves.
I see.
This is why Meg and I enjoy English.
Well, once
I'm
you get
teasing.
it,
I'm loving this.
Once you get it sit, then it shouldn't be a problem. This hasn't been used for a long time.
We need to soap and oil it.
Yeah. It's been sitting for a while, and so it's all very tight.
Talk amongst yourselves.
We'll talk about Paula.
Yeah, talk
about Paula. I don't know what's on her shirt.
I think we should read this. Yeah.
Is it dirty?
Capiche.
Or is it clean?
No.
Capiche means place of ticks.
Yes. This is from my archaeological,
Okay.
from when I did an archaeological dig in Belize.
Ah.
And this
Okay,
is,
the core consists of 34 large structures. During the classical period, the sites and its surrounding lands may have encompassed a realm of approximately six. I think we're off the deep end.
I think
here.
we're getting a little.
Yeah,
right, this is, I shouldn't have let that one go.
yeah, yeah.
I think I know Paula enough that I shouldn't intervene. I've got it.
Well, we can work on the front part while she's doing that. All right, let's get
Nothing to
this
see
over
here.
here. The front's going to be
So
easier.
this is just your basic breast collar.
Yeah, this is a basic collar,
And if it fits properly, you shouldn't have to worry about rubbing.
right?
So the piece is fit tight enough.
And this is, a simple thing. It's just, I think it's a little loose, but let's wait till we get the.
It shouldn't be about here.
It should be about there, yeah. And so this means this one's going to have to be tightened a
For
bit.
demonstration purposes.
We are,
For demonstration purposes, we're good.
yeah. There we
I
go.
wonder who messed with this saddle.
Well, I don't know.
Dog.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe didn't someone borrow it?
Yeah, I think that's what happened here, and then they didn't put it back right. Okay. So let's get the back part right.
Right, of course you have to keep that one there. Yeah.
And then there's a lower one. And
That's what this ring is for.
that's what the rings are for. Okay, and that has to be lengthened as well. This was clearly put on a smaller horse the last time it was used than Monty. And you notice that one set of these has a clip, and the other set does not. So once you get it set, you should only have to do things on this side. Once you get it set to the horse, and that's all the professional packers have a pack saddle fit to each one of their horses or mules. Okay. All right. All right. So now I want you to walk him out here. Are we set on the other side,
Yeah.
Kelly? Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's walk him out a bit here.
Now, I'm looking at the back. Is that too tight, rubbing?
It's too tight. Yeah, it's too tight. It should come down a little bit farther yet. So I think we're going to have these. Now I think we want to work down here.
Okay.
This is fine. This is where this should be. We don't want this to go any farther off of his back. We don't want this down here. You understand what I'm saying? We want so we're going to have to get these two.
This one's as low as it can go on this side.
Well, this one's not as low as it can go.
Oh, these.
The side ones. We're working on the side ones now.
I'm glad we're doing this now.
Yeah.
And not 7 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I'd have to call Paula.
Yeah. You can see why Monty's the man here.
Oh, seriously.
He's got all these women hanging around him. He's just being a sweetheart here. Here, see if we can get this.
I can get it for you.
I'm running out of real estate. This is to pull down.
The more you pull that down, the more real estate I'm running out of.
Hold on. Well, yeah, during tightening it, now it should come down without. Okay. Yeah, you can.
How about this one? That one good? out because they can pull teeth in. Okay. And then I'll be
I think we need to go to the last one on this side too. Kelly,
okay.
the last one on this side.
Now I know my cowboys' hands look like they do.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, my hands used to be strong enough to do this work. I do it all the time, it's not a problem, but when you haven't done it for a while, there you go. Better, better, better.
You want it to be comfy, but you don't want it to rub.
Right.
So this is good back here?
Yeah, I think this is fine. Okay.
Can we put cola on top and make a video?
We could do that. You jump right off. All right. This is basically the way to go. Now, do you have those bags? The bags?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. We're going to cheat. There are 2 ways. There are 3 ways of putting equipment on once you've got the pack saddle on. You've got bags that you clip on, and that's what these are for. They're great. Or you can do, it's called a mani, and you lay it on the ground and you pack everything that you're going to be taking on the horse into 2 manis of equal weight. And then you wrap it up using some very complicated knots, and you tie it on the saddle using some even more complicated knots. Or you cheat. Cheating. And
if it can get tangled, it's mine, and I
yeah.
can't.
And the cheating aspect is when you use a 2 packs together that you just put over the saddle. So
Nice.
the horns go through each side.
Right.
And
Toss it on?
yeah, just toss it on. There we go. And then those are also cinched underneath. You see how the problem is you put them on backwards. And that's because the lids are here. You gotta turn them over.
Oh.
Kelly. Turn them over. Just turn it over. Upside down.
Upside down?
Yep. Yeah. There we go. You gotta have the lids on top.
Oh, of course you do.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, how awesome is this?
Okay. And what I didn't point out earlier, but what I will point out now, is that the Decker saddle has this piece of wood right here. And the piece of wood is to keep the packs from digging into the horse, or from, if you have something sharp like a chainsaw,
right?
You don't want it, hitting the horse and gouging it. But that's another thing that we need to recognize is our chainsaws will be in cases. There will be nothing sharp exposed. And if you were to take a chainsaw that wasn't in a case, you would have to wrap it. Mm-hmm. Everything has to be wrapped so that you're not putting anything that could possibly hurt your horse in the pack. All right?
Mm-hmm.
And then basically this is just, you pack it up and away you go.
And you put the heavier side of the chainsaw in the front.
Yeah, that's right. Everything, you should, but pack it so it won't move.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even if you have to pack felt or
Mm-hmm.
something like to keep it from moving. All right?
Put it in a saddle pad and put the saddle pad in.
Yes, something like that.
How do we carry the
and
fuel?
Then, well, that's to carry it right in there. And now that the issue with fuel is, as you use fuel, the weight changes.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you take the horse back, you have to stand there with the packs and judge that they are pretty well balanced.
Wow.
And if they aren't, you get wood, you get something to balance them, because otherwise it's just like, you're going to be slaunched, and that's going to hurt it.
It's not nice.
It's not nice.
Right.
It's better to carry a little more weight and be balanced than to have too little weight on one side and be unbalanced.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Okay.
Balancing is really important.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Which may have brought us to our
Pretty simple, huh?
Uh-huh. Very simple.
Yeah.
It's actually very simple.
Yeah. All right, you can take it off now.
No.
Yeah.
Well, so how do you start? This just comes under
This just comes under. Yep.
and hooks onto this.
Oh,
here.
right here.
There's a hook.
Okay.
Just hook it on. Yep. Okay. Just a regular hook.
Nice.
Is that's the only thing holding this on?
Oh,
Other
and
than
the saddle.
around
Yeah,
the bars.
that's right. Yeah. All this means is it's not going to string.
Right.
That's all it does. You're not, and it should not be tight.
Right.
It should not be tight. All it does is keep it clean.
That's very cool.
Okay,
Yeah.
because all the weight is up here. And
Now,
that's where you want all the weight.
So let me ask you about, he ponies well.
He ponies very.
What about the length of
Okay,
the rope?
so when you pony a horse, you need a 20-foot.
20.
20 foot. And you never, ever wrap it around your horn. What I do is I wrap it once around my horn. I mean, not wrap it all the way around,
Just
but
around.
from the horse to the horn, and then I put it under my leg. Okay? And the reason I put it under my leg is I know if it's moving, if he's pulling back. And the seminal rule of ponying is to wear gloves.
Absolutely.
And got to wear gloves, okay? And so you ride with your left hand, and you hold the ponied horse in your right hand, but the rope is coming under your leg and around the horn. And the reason for that is if he bolted for any reason whatsoever, you are not going to get, your hand is not going to get whipped, you know, because the horn is going to slow things down. And you know that something is happening with your leg.
This is the horse end?
This is the horse end. So let me get a rope here. You can be the horse.
Paula can be the horse.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what it is. So I would. If I'm ponying him, it goes around my saddle horn only once, and then it comes under my leg on the right hand side, and I don't hold this, but I hold this. And if he were to jet away from me, I let go of this, and this will slow it down, and then I have an opportunity to get the other end. He will not do that.
Now, let me ask
you. And you always keep him on the right hand side.
Right.
You don't let him go behind the horse that's leading. And it's important to have a good horse to lead. I mean, I
ponied off Rocket.
Rocket is the man to. You wouldn't want a horse like Romeo. Romeo likes to kick other horses. Mickey would be terrible.
Whiskey.
Lonza would be the worst.
The worst.
Okay. And Whiskey would not be all that great either. Rocket is.
I think we'll have Chase
pony
him off Rocket. Chase is big. I'll ride Dugan, and the other worker will probably
Dugan
ride.
could probably pony a horse fine. He's pretty calm about it. He doesn't kick other horses. Butte, I've never seen Butte kick another horse.
No.
He's feisty, but never seen him kick.
There's also the pulling sometimes, so they have to worry about that.
Right.
But I think we're gonna ride Rocket, Dugan, and Whiskey.
Okay.
That sound good?
That sounds great.
And then maybe I'll ride Rocket. Anyway, we'll see how large the other people are. But
right.
So, okay, this could work, everybody.
And take photos.
What could go wrong?
Let me tell you what can go wrong. I have done this in the past. Let me tell you about the time that Jessie Rogers.
You know Jessie.
Jessie. I don't know that they do. She was before.
A long time ago.
Daniel Berlut, who was from Romania, and I went up to clear the trail, okay? And this is how I always learn things, by being a smart aleck and thinking I know more than I do, and then everything goes south, okay? So I was riding my main horse, Power, big guy, lead guy, always, nobody ever would challenge Power, right? So we've got these horses up there, and I have to tell you, Monty was one of them. And I said, these horses will not go anywhere. All I have to do is tie up Power. They won't leave Power.
Of course they won't.
Of course they won't. But of course,
that's never happened before.
Those three horses
took off like
crazy. So now it was Jessie and Daniel walking, and Suzanne running around the hills on Power, looking for the other horses.
But see, that's why you're the boss, because you were on the horse.
Yeah.
I'm the horse. I'm the boss Sunday. So
the lesson learned is when you get off a horse, you tie it. You always tie it. If you're going to leave a horse, you tie it. And to ride with your, we do the same knot thing. You shouldn't have it here though, because of your head bob. But the first thing you do is tie your horse.
What do you mean I shouldn't have it there?
When you're riding.
Oh, of course, that's how.
When you're riding, you take this thing off and you put it back on. And and take the bridles, you know, the bridle can stay in if it's only for a minute or two, but be sure you tie the reins and put them over the horn, or they'll step on them and you'll break the. This has all happened to me. Every one of these scenarios has happened to me.
Every
This
rule
is
has
how
a
you'll
reason.
learn.
Yeah.
Huh?
Every rule has a reason.
Every rule
And,
has a reason. So yeah, things do go south occasionally. I
But
have
not Sunday.
yeah. But anyway, this is going to be fun, and you will come back
Oh, I'm
with
gonna bring lots of pictures.
lots of stories.
You know, if we don't have cell service up there.
No.
Because I could get on the chat, but I won't have. Oh, that would have been great. I don't have
Yeah.
cell service.
Yeah,
But I
you
will
might
take-
have get a high enough.
I'll take the ranch phone, and if I can get on the chat with you guys,
Yeah.
I will pipe in with something
Oh, that'd be fun.
occasionally. Okay, that'll be great.
Anybody have anything to offer? Any questions, Jake?
They're probably watching the egg.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
an egg, I guess.
Oh, there is,
gotta
guys.
be.
She's been there sitting. Somebody's been sitting on that thing. No questions. Okay. Well, we'll say goodbye then. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
and
you.
We'll see Kelly off on Sunday morning, and we'll greet her when she comes back.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.